Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm glad everyone is here. Today is going to be an interesting one, TGIF. I've been working on a project for quite some time and it's finally live. It's still in beta, but for the most part, only the members were able to see it for the last week or two. And now everyone can see it. So this is really exciting for me. Put a lot of hours into this. So before I get all deep into it, I just want to say hello to everyone that is here. As you can see in the chat, I put all of the little bullet points to this new space station that I've created. Originally, the members know I was going to call it the Space Lounge, but the issue is it's going to be more of a space station than a lounge because I'm going to break out of the lounge. So there's going to be different scenes over time. So right now we're kind of in a loungy type of atmosphere. We might move into maybe like a bedroom, maybe a hydroponics area, or maybe a different part of the ship. Maybe the engine room with Scotty or something. So we're going to be moving around during the course of time, and I'm going to be adding to it. So anyways, that's why we changed the name up a little bit, to give me a little bit of latitude to change things up. How is the, yes, I'm 2 minutes late, Shannon says. Thank you for that, Shannon. I am 2 minutes late. What else is new, right? A day late, a dollar short. Jeffrey, thank you for being in the house. I appreciate that. Let's see, David is here. Gala Girl, thank you for being here. Let's see, moving down, Speed Racer is here. Low Tech Greg, thank you for being here. Mark is in the house. We have Piney Woods 01. Shannon, of course, is here, giving me crap already that I was 2 minutes late. John Beam, how are you doing? Does it have a working bathroom? Thank you for that, John. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. It probably has a working bathroom, even though I built it. I don't have Fab next to me. She's extremely tired. It's been quite the last couple of weeks for her. So, but next week she'll be here, I'm sure. Craig, thank you for being here. Everything sounds good. I appreciate that. Brad is in the house. Anyone else, if you're new, say hello. Morning, Joe. Let's see. Chris, thank you for being here. So guys, did a bunch of different things this week. Didn't do a lot of videos because I was concentrating on this project. So let me just give you an idea of what we did over the week. And if there's something that you want to talk about in regards to this, let me know. Put that at JCristina in the chat. This way it pops up. It's really easy. Thank you for the poop emoji, Tommy. Ricky Joe's in the house. Who else we got? Don the Baptist, I guess it says. Yep. Or Don H. the Baptist. Let's see. Yep. So definitely put at JCristina if you want me to see it. It'll just pop right up. It makes it really, really easy. But this is what the project is all about. Okay. I'm going to throw it up on the screen right now so you guys can see it. And there you go. I'm going to throw the audio on. I'll throw my audio down so we don't get the reverb. So you kind of hear it, and I'll throw it into the chat. Now, I'll make it a little bit lower so it's not, so loud, so you can still hear me pretty good. But this is what it looks like. You know what? Maybe I'll bring me up too so you can see me while I'm talking here. Let me see. Can we do that? We can. There you go. I'm little. Normally, you won't see that in the scene. So this is the thing that I've been working on for a bit now. And I just want to show you what it looks like, and then I'll go into what I did to build it. This is 100% Linux for all of you guys that are Linux fans out there. This is a 100% Linux Mint build, 22.2, with a few patches, add-ons, and whatnot. So that's what is running this, okay? Before I get into it, let me just show you real quick, and then we'll jump back right over here. So this box that you see over here that's never been there before, that right there is the space station, and it's running live right now, and it's running 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That's going to be running unless something goes south. So that is what I've been working on. Now, originally, guys, I'll get into this a little bit more in just a second, but I'm going to go show you the rest in a second. This is what it was looking like. This is what the original space station looked like. But the bottom line is the graphics card in here could not handle all of the layers that I was doing to create this thing. It was not an easy thing to build. There's a lot of JavaScript in there. There's a lot of CSS. There's a lot of scripting in there. So in all of the different scenes, it started basically crap in the bed. Couldn't do it. So let me just bring you back over so you can see it. There we go. All right. So let me just, if you go up to the top of this chat, you can see all the things that in there. I'm just going to read them to you just so you know what's in there. So this, of course, is the space station, right? 24-hour, 24/7 hub. And as if you look in here, you can see live space station. It says step inside a futuristic space station with panoramic galaxy views, drifting planets, and calm deep space atmosphere. That was the whole idea behind this. I wanted something that people could just go to and just hang out. Almost like a lo-fi girl, but for space enthusiasts. And that's what this thing is all about, all right? That's what this is all about. Mission control at your fingertips. See the next SpaceX launch countdown plus a scrolling ticker of upcoming rocket launches and mission details. So if you look on the upper left-hand corner up here, straight above, up on top of me here, you'll see T-minus 1 day, 22 hours, 53 minutes, blah, blah, blah. And then it'll show you the mission. It's mission Starlink 11-20. Rocket is the Falcon 9, the launch pad, which is going to go out of Vandenberg, okay? This is important information. That is the countdown of the next launch. Right next to it, which would be, I guess, over here, you could see that ticker tape running. That ticker has about 5 or 6 launches that are coming. This launch will be in that ticker. But this ticker is a little bit different because it'll give you the information that does, besides the countdown, but then it'll give you a little bit more information, background on the specific launch, okay? Then we have Solar Weather Watch, real-time data on solar winds, proton flux, X-ray flux, and geomagnetic storms with alerts when space weather heats up. Now, as you can see, that's all the way in this corner, on the right-hand corner. And you can see what it says there. It says Solar Weather Report. You got the solar winds, you got solar density, KP index, proton flux, X-ray, as well as your solar threat. Now, one of the most important things here, besides the winds, is the KP index, all right? So no one kick me because I have to tell you guys about this because it's important, all right? So that KP index will tell you how much, let's say, solar flares or radiation or whatnot's hitting the planet at any given time. This is all real-time data. So everything that you see in here, guys, is 100% real-time. And then you can see solar threat. Right now it just popped up to, it's red, blinking. It says storm or high risk. The KP index is at 6.1. It fluctuates, okay? When it's in that red or elevated for an extended period of time, those satellites are getting hit with a ton of crap. And that's where you can see some outages. If you are a ham radio operator and you watch this screen, you'll know when we in this area are getting hit with solar flares, which is very, very important. If you are a ham radio operator, you know how that can definitely affect signal. So this is real time. All right. The next thing after the solar watch that I put in there, just so you know, that's an algorithm that I wrote that takes the wind as well as density and the KP and all the rest of the stuff, and it comes up with either quiet or in yellow, which is kind of like medium, and then finally the alert. So that's something that I put together there. Also, Starlink in motion, a rotating Earth surrounded by live Starlink satellites orbiting. Watch the constellations move in real time. So down, I guess, would be here. You see the globe? You see that ball? Every one of those dots moving is an actual SpaceX Starlink satellite real time. That's like as of this minute. And you will see the Earth revolving And when it gets to, let's say, North America, you'll see that also. You'll see Africa, South America, you'll see it as it comes by. Right now, it looks like we're in the middle of the ocean. So you can keep watching that. But that is all real-time SpaceX Starlink satellites. As they burn up, it'll go bye-bye as new ones are put into place. You'll see them on there. So that is a real-time, in-motion SpaceX Starlink satellite. Display, let's call it. Then we got breaking space news. Stay up to date with curated feeds of top, kind of like headlines and stuff. Top space and tech news. That you'll see at the bottom, right over here, right? On the left-hand side, those are breaking news headlines. There's probably about 20 to 30 of them at any given time. They're constantly repopulating every 2 to 5 minutes, getting new headlines. Okay, so that I'm constantly scraping to keep you guys abreast of what's going on. Then you have launchpad conditions. You'll see track weather at Cape Canaveral, Starbase, Texas, and Vandenberg, California at liftoff. Now, I put that together also, and you can see it over here to the side. Right now it's on Starbase, Texas. And you'll see temperature, winds, gusts, clouds, rain, visibility, lightning, and then finally a launch. Is it a possibility? And then I give you a percentage based on all of these factors. This is something that I wanted, right? I would love to have had this when I'm covering Starship flying out of Starbase. It would be nice just to be able to look and see what the weather is, see what the winds look like. Is there any upper level gusts? What is cloud cover? Is there any lightning in the area? And then this is going to tell you if it's going to be maybe a bad day. You're going to see it in red, or you'll see it in yellow or in green. So that's something that we put in there. So those are kind of the main portions. And then of course at the bottom you'll see just kind of support us, give us thumbs up, that kind of thing. Any type of alert is going to come down here at the bottom. I guess you would say down here at the bottom. And I'm going to change those alerts. So when we go live, it's going to pop up. If there's a new video, something will pop up down there and that type of thing. All right. And if we have some sponsors that come aboard, for example, we had Pure VPN, we've had, all kinds of different sponsors. If they want to pick up a location down there, they could do that too. So this is kind of what the thing looks like. The other thing that I kind of just put in here just recently, I guess here, dead center, do you see that? We have London time, we have East Coast time, Central time, we also have West Coast time, we have Tokyo time, and then we have galactic time, as we call it, right? And the galactic time is a time based on the stars, okay? It's actually GMST is what they call it. It's actually faster than solar time. And if you're an astronomer, you know exactly what that is, but I figured I'd put that in there to make it even more spacey, so to speak. So, this is the project. This is what it looks like, guys, all right? And you can go there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and hopefully 365 days a year, and hang out and talk to other fellow nerds, space people, space nerds, or just tech. Because we'll be talking about anything in there. It could be AI, it could be SpaceX stuff, it could be whatever, right? It doesn't make too much of a difference. As long as it's some type of tech, chances are people will be talking about it in there. So like-minded people, so to speak. It is right now considered beta, so there might be some times when I have to kind of work at something and change something or whatever. But for the most part, everything is written, right? The hard coding for the most part is done. There is some other stuff that I'm going to be working on. But if you guys have any ideas on things that you want to see, other information you want to know, let's say, that would be great to have in here, let me know and maybe I can work it in. So that is what I've been working on for the last 2 or 3 weeks, tirelessly. Okay, so like I said on all of these, if anyone wants to contribute a little bit here and there, I always appreciate it. It's always warmly welcome. So once again, that is the box. That is the space station. And if someone wants to know what's in it, this is some of the stuff that's in it. The reason I built this for you guys, instead of going solely with this. I could have used this and it would have worked, okay? But there's like no expandability. There was not much I could do. Even when I was doing like previews of stuff, it would start like I said, crapping the bed. And I wanted to give you guys the best experience that I could, right? So I said, you know what? I'm just gonna build this thing from scratch. So we have some silent fans here, right? Because we don't want anything to be loud while I'm recording, right? So we got a bunch of silent fans. Then what else we have? We got Crucial memory. This is the SSD, right? I picked up Crucial. I like Crucial. They seem to do pretty well. I also like Black, you know, that does pretty good, like, you know, like a Western Digital or something. But Crucial does a good job. The other thing is Ripjaw. Have to have Ripjaw. Really good memory. This stuff is really, really solid. It's by JCLive. Really good stuff. So we got 32 gigs in there, so we got a ton of expandability. I didn't just cheap out and just put 16 gigs. I just went all out with 32 gigs because that's like probably 4 times more than what I need. So if I want to do more, I could. We went with a Ryzen, I think it's a 5500. Is it a 5500? Let me see here. It is. So yes, it's a Ryzen 5 5500. Really good balance for what we're doing. I could have went faster with it, but there's always a balance between heat and load and speed. And honestly, this was enough for what I'm doing and more. And the reason being is I don't have a box for it, is instead of using like a integrated GPU that's built on the motherboard. There's the motherboard. This is a Gigabyte, the B550, right? So instead of using the one that's on board here, I'm using an extra 1070, right? So it is more than enough to be able to handle these graphics, okay? Even though I have a ton of different scenes going on there, as you can see, this is able to handle it. Instead of it's its own card, right? It's not a problem at all. So we have this, everything is copacetic. It's literally running with the fans barely even turning on every once in a while. I got silent fans because I figured that they were gonna be whipping around, but they don't even turn half the time. And it's cool, it's not even hot. And then finally we got a nice power supply. You know, for me, you know, something that has a little bit extra. This is a 650. I needed about 450, but having an extra 200 isn't bad, right? Just in case I want to add some extra things to it, I can do it. So here you go. This is what I built for you guys. This is what I built for you. You know, I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right. If not, I'm not going to do it at all. You know, ask Shannon. He'll tell you. I was on the phone with him a bunch, talking about, you know, what I was doing and how I'm doing it. You know, I'm kind of anal when it comes to this kind of stuff because I like to do it right. So anyways, that is the skinny behind what is going on here. So any questions, let me know. And my hope is that while it's in beta here, people give me ideas on how to expand on this. Because what I didn't hit on here is the sound, okay? Matter of fact, I might lower it just a little bit so you can just barely hear it. That sound is very deep space ambient and non-intrusive. That's the whole idea. I wanted you to be able to work by it, for me, code with it, and it doesn't get intrusive. There is no pounding drums of any kind. There's no percussion in any of it. So it's very peaceful and calming because that's the kind of stuff that I need when I'm trying to focus. You could also go to sleep with it, you know? So that was the idea. And there's a ton of it in there that I compiled. So anyways, that's that. Let me get into the chat because I know there's people probably kicking me by now, but I had to go through all of it because today is the day. It's released. Everyone can get in there and take a look immediately, like now. Let's see. What's up, Joe? When's Friday night? It is now. Never mind. Let's go. Okay, let's see. Moving on here. Everyone from Speed Racer. I'm going up to the top. Hit the like button, Fragile says. Thank you very much. Hit the like button. even more importantly, share the channel and share this new space station with your fellow Starlinkers out there. People that love space, people that are into Tesla and SpaceX and Elon and AI and tech in general, you know, maybe they'll like to be able to hang out. And the cool thing is too, is, you know, not only are you hanging out like with other people, but those people can chat with you. You could say, hey, listen, you know, meet me at the space lounge over there, you know, at the space station and lounge at, let's say 9 a.m. Eastern. And you guys can hang out and talk or something. So it's a way, and the reason I did that too is because a lot of times we're here doing a live, and at the end of the live, I kind of feel like I don't want to hit stop on it because a lot of you guys are still conversing back and forth. So that's why sometimes I'll just let it go for another 10 or 15 minutes. Well, now it'll be 24/7. So if you guys want to talk to each other, you just go over there to the space station and chill out and chillax. Let's see. Last minute Heron makeup check. Nice. I like it. Let's see. Hey, Joe, that's from Speed Racer. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Moving into, once again, if you have a question, put at JCristina. It makes it a lot easier for me to see. Brad says, good morning. All my time. Good evening for all you. Yes. Thank you for being here. If it's morning for you, Brad, where are you? Where are you located? Slacker. Let's see. Moving down. Ricky Joe. Thank you for being here. I love the poop emojis. Nice. Project Reboot. There you go. Welsh and Sun Farms. Thank you for being here. Watching the new channel. Awesome. Awesome. Check it out. Check it out. Throw it on your TV. Throw it on your TV. I am pushing it out at 1080p, so it is HD. I could have done 4K, but I'm trying to keep it nice and small so that anyone can watch it and they don't have to have anything, you know, too crazy. And then also it keeps the load down on the server that's back there. So, yeah. As far as the system, it is running Linux. It's running Mint 22.2. When I bought this originally to use this for the space station, it came with Windows 11 and I about upchucked in my mouth and I didn't even turn it on. I literally took I took a key, right? I plugged the damn thing in and I'm like, okay, there you go. And I installed Linux on it immediately. So yeah, I can't do the whole Windows thing. It's not server quality. So anyways, yes, Linux. Mint 22.2. Good stuff. Good stuff. It's working out good so far. Let's see. You won't believe what happened. I was at Walmart today checking out on the system crash and there was all computers went down about 45 minutes to get the servers rebooted. Yeah, I could see that. Walmart's probably using Windows, you know, Windows 7 or something, or maybe they're using DOS 3.1. I remember there was a bank about 10 years ago that was still using DOS 3.1 or some shit on the bank's computers, which is just crazy considering, like, you know, we're like in the 2000s and they're still using it. And it was a smaller bank. What ends up happening is it's very hard for them to transfer over to something new. But yeah, that's great. 45 minutes to reboot. Horrible, absolutely horrible. Honey Badger, thank you for being here. Good evening. Shannon says, purple hair. Oh, there it is. It is the purple hair. JCLive, Space Station 24/7. Channel launch day. No fab, I know. Bathroom question already. Super chat, absolutely. Thank you for everything that you do, Shannon. Thank you for listening to my nonsense as you do. Speed Racer with the super chat. Thank you, Speed Racer. That is appreciated. That will go straight over to the server pot. That server did cost a little bit of a pretty penny, but it's worth every single dime for sure. What's up from Petrie? How are you doing? Long time. Gallagher. Let's see. Dustin Denton, how are you doing here? It says video lag, or is it just me? Relative location, Montreal. Montreal, is that California, I guess? Yeah. Xfinity. I don't know. I mean, it shouldn't be lagging, but anything's possible. Once again, it is beta. The server itself definitely is not going to lag internal. That's for sure. The system that we're using for broadcasting is a Raspberry Pi. This goes out to Dustin over there. We're using a Raspberry Pi that I custom wrote a router for, with failover and fallback, as well as QoS, quality of service, to get everything just right. And what comes into here is fiber, SpaceX Starlink, as well as T-Mobile home internet. So all three of them. So for us to go down at any given time is next to impossible, but I shouldn't say impossible, but let's say highly unlikely. But there's always, there's always an issue. I've seen a lot of spooling and stuff happen lately through YouTube, and I don't know why. Maybe it's something going on over there. But we should not spool. This thing should never spool unless something's busted. Because like I said, it's got a ton of backup, all right? Next, let's see. William Welsh says Hershey's feeding the chicken. She's finished in the bathroom. Yeah, I'm gonna throw her in the bathroom. Actually, she was burning some wood the other day. We're like burning like planks that I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna be installing them for shelving. I always like burning the wood. It just takes off all of the knickknacks off it, and it makes a really nice finish to it, and it just seals the wood really nice. So yeah, she enjoys taking a flamethrower to it and doing the thing. So yeah, Ricky Joe. What does Ricky Joe say here? Let me go in. I don't want to miss anyone's chats, because I know these things will just pop around and then I'll lose them. Ricky Joe says, you know what is weird? I noticed today in Walmart I had Wi-Fi called AT&T Passpoint. And somehow my phone said connected via Cricket Wireless. That is really weird. Unless what they're doing is they're using Cricket Wireless for their Wi-Fi, and that's maybe the name of their Wi-Fi, and yours just automatically grabbed it. It's possible. Let's see. Gallagher. Here, Low Tech Greg says Globe with the Starlink satellites looks great. Will we see, let me see, the 3 Atlas out of the window when it comes cruising through? That would be pretty cool, right? Whole thing looks great. That's a great question, Low Tech Greg. I am working on doing some cool out the window stuff. So you'll see like the scenes kind of, matter of fact, here, I'll just jump back over there. You'll see the scene in the background kind of like moving by through the galaxy, maybe some planets or whatnot. But I'm thinking about doing like once an hour on the hour, or maybe random, some cool something happen, right? Maybe it has to do with seasonal stuff. Maybe it has to do with, I don't know, some little space dude kind of popping in, popping out, maybe a little alien dude or something. I don't know, just to keep it like fresh and so you don't know what's going to happen. As it is now, everything that you see on this screen is literally being pulled minute by minute. So this is 100% real-time everything, which to me is really, really helpful, because this is the kind of stuff I wanted. And that's why I built it. Because I figure if I wanted it, I'm sure other people would want it too. So there it is. If there is something else that you can see or envision that's on here that is not already there, like I said, let me know. I would love to hear from you, because the whole idea is I want to make this a great place for the community just to hang out and chit chat and shoot the shit, so to speak, right? Space shit. Space junk. Let me see here. Good evening, Mo. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. George, always here. Wendy Hill, thank you for being here. Yes, they're the best fans, Wendy. Absolutely butter. These things are butter. The bearings in them, the ball bearings that they use are just sweet. They're probably one of the more expensive fans. They don't have like, all the cool LEDs and all the rest of the crap, but these fans, and I'm not sponsored by them, okay? These fans are sick, Wendy. I agree. And that's why I use them on all of my builds. I have a server underneath me right now, but you don't hear it because it has 6 of these in there. Big, I think they're 140s too. They're big 140s. It's a big tower, right? Maybe 2 120s, right? So anyways, very good stuff. Absolutely. If you guys are looking for quiet fans, they are the way to go for sure. For sure. William, thank you for being here. Tom is in the house. Thank you, Tom, for being here. Let's see. Centrin SAR. Okay, SAR. SAR. I'm going to say SAR for short. Thank you for being here. Wow, I love the analysis of the hardware. Thank you. Thank you. Any kind of questions, let me know. That's what I do, right? I'm constantly building something. So let me know if you have a question about anything. Let's see. Colin Kaiser, thank you for being here. I like the concept. I'm glad. Constantly updating space station webpage. Kind of what it is. Yep. Don't forget to add a strategic situational map when changes and updates. Yeah, like I was thinking, I like the idea. I like the idea. There are some other things that I'm looking into, but the ideas that I have will definitely be more JavaScript, and I'll code what I can. I will chat GPT. Sometimes we'll use Grok. Grok does a little bit better job when it comes to coding. A lot of the chat bots do a good job at figuring stuff out, like doing fixes. But I find that every time if I do a change on some code and I say, listen, take a look at this code, let me know what I can do to, let's say, slim it down and but keep functionality, it'll break the damn thing. So, while all these AI things are great and everything, there's nothing better than just looking at it and just saying, okay, this can go, this can stay, this is broken, because all too often these things break. So yeah, I have some good I got some good ideas, but keep the ideas coming. Situational map. I like it. I like it. Let's see. Shannon, he had an idea, and I like the idea. It's very Star Trek-y, taking that window that we see here, right, the big window, and during times, let's say, maybe I just want to go live, but on this thing, maybe I'll pop up, like the Borg would pop up, or something. Maybe I'll just like pop up, like if you were hailing me from the ship, and I could talk to you guys right through this thing. I think that would be cool. Right now, there's no cameras hooked up to the server back here, but it wouldn't be nothing for me to do that. I can even do it wirelessly and still make something happen. So that was something that Shannon had an idea about, and I like it. There were some other things that I want to do in that big window. The other thing is there's going to be different scenes. Like if you guys were here from the beginning, you heard me, but if not, I'll tell you. Right now, this is kind of like a lounge where you kind of hang out, but I want like maybe a place, maybe like a library type of thing, maybe inside someone's bedroom, maybe in like a hydroponics area where you can see, all of the nebula and stuff going overhead, when you're in this hydroponics thing, or, those type of things. So that's why I renamed it from the lounge to the station, because this is more of a station and we're going to kind of be able to jump from place to place. There was also a request or an idea where people could actually vote on where we'll be stationed in the space station at any given time. I thought that was pretty cool. And however the vote pulled up, whatever was the highest, that's where it would automatically take us, right? So if people wanted to be in the bedroom and kind of hang out there because it's nighttime, there people could vote, and all of a sudden, boom, we're now sitting there for the next, let's say, 60 minutes. So that was something that, kind of came to mind that I think is a pretty cool idea. Let's see. Michael says my B55 or 55 zeros or 550 still chugs right along. It's great. It's a great board. Old board, but great board. Absolutely. If you do have a question, put that at JCristina. Makes it really quick. I'm going to try to read everything tonight, even if you don't put it in there. Let's see. Moving on. Grand Canyon, PA. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. Bunch of kicks from William. Thank you. Sorry. Good speech. Good. Memorable places. Suggestions, share again the link and method to get to the spa or the lounge. Okay, so let's see. If you go to, let's see, youtube.com/JCristina, right? I'm going to get I will get the direct link, all right? And then if you go to live from there, you will see it. It will pop up. Right now there's a live, which is what we're doing right now, which is the Space Station Big Reveal. And then right next to it, you'll see the JCLive Space Station 24/7. That's the live, Space Starlink Tech Hub. You can click on that, okay? That is one way. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit share, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to stick it down here, all right? Let me copy paste that and hit send. There you go. So down below, that is a direct link to it, but you really don't need a direct link. I mean, like I said, you can go there. It's not a problem. It's very simple. Just go to the lives and you will see it. It will pop up. Let me see. Moving down. I know I'm slow, but I'm gonna go. I love all the little alien dudes. Very, very cool. Thank you, Michael. Hello again. That's from Arnold. Thank you for being here, Arnold Smith. Let's see. Our GSD rules. Good evening. Thank you for being here, Michael Johnson. Can we get a cup of tea? Yes. I don't have a cup of tea tonight. I wish I did, or a cup of coffee in the station. Yes. I brought another big water. I'm gonna have some. Matter of fact, I've been so dehydrated. I don't know. So we're gonna drink. Excuse me, but I'm gonna be drinking during the show tonight. And it's not vodka. It's actually water. Let's see, Alan, Scorpio. Thank you for being here. Hey, what's up? What is up? Sar says from Thai. Oh, from Thailand. Very cool. Very, very cool. Let's see. That's a great idea. Thank you for that, Shannon. We can definitely do a subdomain. The only thing is it will point there as long as nothing changes. If it changes, then the point won't work anymore. That direct 403 or 444, whatever, that it won't work. William Welsh, Mo, glad you're here. Yes, Chris, thank you for being here, Chris. Maybe I missed it, but what is the link to the station? Excellent. So I stuck it in there down below. Take a look at it. You can always go to youtube.com/JCristina and then just click lives and you will see it there. Minty fresh. That is right, Peter. Gotta love it. Linux Mint 22.2 currently, and it's just beautiful. It does a really good job. My main machine, matter of fact, is Linux Mint 22.2 also, and that's what I've been using for the last year, just over a year. I'm going to do a Linux video about it, and I came from this. This is Windows. I stuck the Windows in here. You can see the dust. About a year or so ago, and it's never came out, never went back in. I've been using Linux ever since. There it is. Shannon, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Guys, if you got a gifted membership from Shannon, please say thank you to him. Thank you, Shannon. As always, really appreciate everything you do. Michael says, are you going to air SpaceX launches on the new channel? That's a really good question, and I was thinking about it, and I don't think I'm going to. And the reason being is I was thinking about putting the all of the SpaceX launches, like Starship and everything, on this channel, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that just go there and hang out just for the ambiance, just to chill, listen to the background sound, maybe code by it, maybe just relax, maybe sleep by it or whatever. I kind of want to leave it pure like this. What I will do is when a launch is happening, I will probably put like a red alert or something on this specific live telling you to go to the other live, my live, the same live that you're seeing now where we have coverage. So both lives will be running in tandem. And I just feel like that's just a better way to do it. You know, maybe one of these windows will pop out and it'll be me, you know, doing the live. I don't know, but I just don't want to. I don't want to screw with the ambient because that's what this is all about. It's very akin to, like I said before, like a lo-fi, you know, girl type of thing, right? Where you just go in there, you're just like hanging out, listening, the same type of thing. But this is for us, right? This is for the geeks. This is for the space nerds. This is for the people that love tech, you know, this type of thing. And you just want to sit, hang out and code, you know, or read a book or fall asleep or just gather information. You know, at any given time, you could look up here and say, oh, the next mission is a Starlink 1120. All right. That happens in T-minus 1 day, 22 hours, 59 minutes, 51 seconds. Okay. Well, once that hits T-minus like 5 minutes or T-minus 10 minutes, you come down to the other corner and you know that that's going out of Vandenberg. You take a look at Vandenberg and you can see what is my thoughts on launch. Is it green? Is it yellow? Or is it red? And I do like an algorithmic equation, a breakdown of winds, wind gusts, temperature. I look at cloud cover, you know, everything, rain, lightning in the area. I look at everything and then I come up with a percentage that you'll see down there. So if it says T-minus 15 minutes or T-minus, let's say, an hour, and you look down there and Vandenberg looks red, because there's storms, lightning, and visibility is like next to nothing instead of like 19,000 meters, well, probably it's not going to happen. So that's the whole idea about this. All right. Anyways, moving on. What do we got here? Wendy. Oh, Amy, thank you for being here, Wendy. Says happened to me 2 days ago in Walmart. Wendy Hill says, I've had my kids play with DOSBox. Nice. But I would never run it for a main system. Yeah, especially one that needs super secure. Right. Absolutely. Let's see. SAR says Mint is super fresh. Yes, it is. I love Linux Mint. It's really good. Of course, you could use Ubuntu. You could go with a whole host of them. I just like Mint. It just does really well. I mean, it's not the hardest, like the most solid, but it's more on the cutting edge, but not too cutting edge, right? So you get like more updated drivers and whatnot, but you're not as solid like as Ubuntu, right? So I like that middle ground. Galagirl, what about making a jar with raising fund? I like that. Yeah, raising funds goal that stays on the space room that we can see. I kind of like that. I'm not sure how to implement it, but that would be kind of cool. Like maybe a goal, you know, like this thing was like, I don't know, $1,200-1,300. Like the goal is that, and see how long it takes us to get there. I don't know, something like that. That'd be kind of neat. I like that, Gala Girl. I just have to figure out how to implement it. I'll think about it. I do like it though. Thank you for that. Any other ideas you guys have? Throw them in here tonight. I love it. Good stuff. Let's see. Lots of poop emojis. Love it. Wendy says, I don't need a rainbow on my fans. Exactly. Well, that's true. It's true. My system only runs. Yeah, it's true. It's yeah. All of the LEDs on the fans are great, but what ends up happening is a lot of those fans are just junk, and they're gunk, chung, and they sound like crap. So you have this beautiful light display, but the thing is just loud as hell. I'm not a fan of that at all. Let's see. Moving on. Tesla car floating by. I kind of like that. Yeah, you see just Elon just pop his head up. He's like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" and then disappear. Let's see. Moving down here. Let's see. Once again, if you have any questions, put it at JCristina. Once again, at JCristina. Makes it easier for me to find. Brad, how you doing, Brad? Think we need to stay near the Gamma Quadrant. Yes. Seems to be a lot of trouble there in the Star Trek Next Generation. Yes, that's true. That is true. We don't want to get, yeah, maybe we can put some reference in here. I don't want to put too closely any kind of reference in here because God forbid they might like demonetize the whole damn thing, you know? So like you have to be like so cautious with YouTube. It's just crazy. There's a bunch of pink poop emojis. Gotta love those. Let's see. Moving on. Mark, thank you so much. Look at that. With that gifted membership. Thank you, Mark, for that. Really appreciate that. So if you got a, let me see, who was it? DMA. If you're watching, if you're listening, Mark just got you a free month on the channel. Once again, check that out. Let me, what is this, an ad? What is this ad coming up here? Where did this ad come from? Holy hell, there's some guy getting into a tub. There we go. That's better. Oh man. YouTube just loves to just pump those ads. I think I have it turned down to like the bare minimum, like as low as it goes, but you know, yeah, it's the way it is. That is the way it is. Moving on, Kevin Hoy, thank you for being here. A little bit late, but howdy, sir. Rural East Texas, appreciate you being here. Memorable Places says, wife hates the loud fans on her tower. Yes, take them out and install these. All right, install these. These are the place to go right here. These things are awesome. Matter of fact, you know what? I'll write it into the chat. I'll tell you, this is the one. So this is the name of them. All right. I'll put a little dash here, dash. They come in the 120, right, millimeter and 140 millimeter, or 12 centimeter and 140 or 14 centimeter, however you want to look at it. Whatever floats your boat on understanding. So these right here, this is a 140. This is the Big Daddy. And then we have the smaller ones, which are the 120s. They look like this. It just depends on what part of the case you're putting them in. Replace every one of those fans. They're not that expensive. They're more expensive than others, but trust me, she will thank you. I promise you. They're silent. They're literally silent. I'm not joking. Once again, thank you, Mark. Really appreciate that gifted membership. And if you are DMA, you got that gifted membership from Mark, say thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Moving down, Mo is in the house talking to Sar. Kevin Hoy. Yes, we have this. Moving down here. Joe, you are so talented. Come on. I appreciate that. Let's see. I don't know. I try. That's it. Sar says, let me see. Ty. We say 555 because it sounds like the laughter. Nice. Talking to Mo over there. Let's see. Moving down. Lo-Fi. Yes, Lo-Fi Nerds Federation. Yeah, maybe that's a good name. And of course, and we have the 10 super chats once again down here from Shannon. Shannon, if you did get a super chat from Shannon, say thank you. Thank you. The Boom or the Kapow, the Bam. Michael is in the house. Let's see. I also have a dusty Windows mini PC unused in over a year. Whenever I see it there, I get the same gut feeling as I walk by the bathroom, notice that the toilet wasn't been cleaned. Yeah, you know what? For me, like, if you have like one of these little PCs that have been sitting around, they have Windows on it, and it's like it's kind of like a turd, throw Linux on it and use it. They are really fantastic for just about everything besides graphics. And for the most part, you could get some pretty decent graphics on some of these, but then you pay a lot for them. But for like, you know, something generally cheap, in quotes, you know, you're not going to get the best graphics. So, but everything else, like the CPU, fantastic. This thing that I had, that little mini PC, was running like an i5 something whatever, and it literally did everything that I needed to do, sitting at 8% CPU usage on Linux Mint 22.2. Not even 10% usage. The only thing that it had a problem with, once again, was graphics. It was just the encoding, live encoding. It doesn't like that. Live encoding takes a lot. It is not easy for any of them to do it. So let's see. Back up here. Let's see. I put that in the chat. Once again, if you guys did not see it, I'm going to put it down there again. There you go. That is where you guys can go and look at it. Go take a look if you like. A whole bunch of these poop emojis. Gotta love those. We have the gifted memberships from Shannon here. Gifted memberships from Shannon. 10 gifted memberships from Shannon. Man, it's a lot. There's a lot of gifted memberships going out, which is really, really sweet. Moving down here, and let me show you. We got the kicks coming through for the ads. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. There's got to be. I mean, I put it to as low as possible, but YouTube sees something, and all of a sudden, if they see a bunch of people going to a specific channel, they just start pumping ads. They're like, oh God, there's people going there. Ads, and that's just how they do it. Do we get a little bit of ad revenue from it? Yes, but it's like pennies. It's a very small amount. Does it add up when you have thousands and thousands and thousands, millions of views maybe? Yeah, sure. But just for a few views, it really doesn't. Memberships, you're welcome, Shannon says. Thank you, Shannon. Kicks are added from Mo. Appreciate those. Let's see. Sorry, back to the fans again. Not looking for the size, but wondering which model, name, number you are running. Let's see what they are. These are brand new. So this one is the Noctua, the NFP12, and these are the 1700s, the PWMs. 1700s. That's basically your speed, right? Like 1700 RPMs. That's the 120. These 140s are 1200s. And they are the NFP, obviously, 14S. These are the new ones. And these are literally like just 4 days old, 5 days old. So, yeah. They're badass, though. They are definitely worth every penny. Every penny. Let's see. Moving on, chat membership, bathroom, what's the difference? Yes, please mention. Thank you to Shannon. Yes, that'd be nice. Chuchala says, Joe, you are so modest. Drink a lot of tea. Could be British master is an understatement. It's funny. You're talking about Britain. So my father is Sicilian. My mother's from Germany. I always thought that she was like my dad, 100% German. Come to find out, I'm like 25% British because my mother ends up not being fully German. So when I did my DNA, I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm like literally 25% British. I was shocked. So yeah, British Wales, that area, and then of course Germany. Anyways, so yeah. Let's see. Mark says, I tried the dual boot Linux and screwed it up. That happens a lot. I'm a Linux user now when converted to Apple. Yeah, so I tell people all the time, if you want to test out Linux, get a key like this, little USB stick. Get a fast stick. Don't get a cheap-ass shitty stick. Get a good stick. Install your Linux Mint 22.2 or whatever you want to install, whatever you want to try. I don't care what it is. Install it on there and then plug it into your machine, right? So let's say we're going to do this machine, right? Plug it in and don't boot off the hard drive. Hit your, F12 or F1 or escape or whatever and say boot from here. Boot from here. And then instead of installing the Linux, run it. it will allow you to run allow you to run it right from the stick. Bear in mind, you're not going to get all the speed that you would because you're running off, the speed of a stick. That's why I say get a good one, so you get a decent experience. And then take it out and then stick another version of Linux in it. Stick that in, boot off that, and test that out. It makes it very easy to test Linux out without having to worry about screwing something up by automatically just dual booting. And now, now you screw up your boot table is screwed, and you're having a problem getting back in, and it turns into a big nightmare mess. Don't do that. Other people, what they do stupidly is they'll do this route, and they'll say, oh yeah, let's go ahead and install it. I want a dual boot, and then they'll pick like the wrong freaking hard drive, and they'll format the hard drive that has Windows in it. So now they can't even get back to Windows. And they're like, oh shit, I just lost everything. Don't do that, all right? Don't do that, guys, all right? My suggestion is if you're going to play with Linux and you want to not just play on here and you want to actually install it, get one of these, like an NVMe, like this. Take the one that's in there that has your Windows in it, pull it out, take this empty one, stick it in, install onto this your Linux, and then you can have a full experience, fast experience with it, right? And then install another one on here, install another one, install another one. And then when you're tired of it because you don't like Linux and you want to go back to Windows because, I don't know, something's wrong with you, but then you can just go and stick your Windows back in, and you don't have to worry about it. So just be careful, right? I don't want someone to listen to me and then they go and lose everything, because that has happened many times. People will lose everything, and they'll lose stuff that they can't get back, right? Because people don't back up their shit. So they'll lose like 10 years of photos and videos of their kids and grandkids and stupid shit like that. It's like, don't do that. Number one. Number two, why do you only have your, important stuff on your hard drive and not backed up somewhere? That's the reason why I wrote that book. Can you guys see that back there? Let me see. Here. There you go. See the book back here? Digital Fort Knox, Backing Up Your Digital Life. I wrote that book specifically for that reason. I took an old 15-year-old computer and a bunch of 15-year-old parts, and I built an unraid server. And I wrote a book about it when I did it. And that book is there, and you can find it on Amazon. You can find it in your local bookstore. And it's a means for you to be able to back up all your shit and not lose stuff, and do it locally. And then if you want to back up into the cloud, because remember, the cloud isn't a backup. A cloud is kind of like cold storage, because the cloud could rain one day and now all of your data is gone. I've seen that happen many times with like Canon Cloud and other clouds where they just lose people's data. Like, oh, I'm sorry, you lost everything? We lost it? Well, remember that little tick, that little radio button you clicked on that says I agree to the TOS or terms of service? Yeah, we're not responsible. We might have lost all your shit, but we're not responsible. So don't do that. Use the cloud to back up like cold storage, but have like a backup local, an unraid server. Once again, take a look at that book. Matter of fact, if you go, you might even be able to get I had on my website, I don't even know if you can still find it there. If you go to JCristina.com/books, you might be able to find the prologue to it. But if not, pick it up. It's cheap. It's not a lot of money. It'll teach you exactly how to build the damn thing. And mine has been running now for years, probably 2-3 years, 24/7, 365 days a year, never been off ever since. And it's got about 40 or 50 terabytes in it. That's it. If something goes bad, it's like, hey, warning, warning. Warning, Bill Robinson, we have a hard drive going down. Yeah, okay, no problem, just relax. I order one in, I stick it in, it goes and copies everything to the other one, and that's it. No one knows the difference. Everything is great. So anyways, that's the best way to do it. Any kind of questions that you have, please put them in the chat. Once again, put them in the chat. We never know what's going on with YouTube because it stopped. Like right now, my YouTube stopped completely. But that's normal. It makes sense. This happens all the time. I don't know. Let me go into here and see if we can get it back up. This is the kind of thing that happens to Fabiola all the time. And she's like, Joe, you don't know. The thing dies all the time. It doesn't work. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's horrible. It's been like that since day one. Like I said, these people are billion dollar company, and yet they have software that is just, I don't know. It's just crap. But anyways, we're back. I can see everyone back in here, and I can also see the chat window moving again because it wasn't moving for a while. What else is new? Gotta love it. Let's see. Moving down here, we have Shannon. It says, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time to light that shit up. We will have to do that. Let me see. Where is it? Here we go. This is a Block 1 representation of the SpaceX Starship. Block 2 does have these flaps here pointing at 140 degrees instead of 180. Okay. It is also, this is a little bit shorter by a little bit. It holds 25% less capacity. Anyways, there's some little details on the Block 1 to Block 2. Luckily, we have one more launch for Block 2, and SpaceX, I'm sure, is very happy about that because Block 2 has been a thorn in their side since day one. They did get Block 2 to actually land last time, didn't blow up like the last 3. IFT-7, IFT-8, IFT-9, all boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So here we go. 3, 2, 1. That wasn't too bad. That hit about this long. And I don't know. Sometimes it might be really small, and sometimes it'll blow out like 1.5 feet, and my wife usually is sitting there taking the brunt of it. In honor of all the lost astronauts, let's make it a big one. Yes. Thank you so much, Shannon. Thank you. Let's see. Moving on. Mo says, light that shit up. Linux 101 class. Yeah, we can do that. We can do it. I made a switch to Linux 10 years ago, Wendy said. Congratulations, Wendy. That's great. Catnip Mint is so old school. Yes. There's a lot. I mean, shit. I started with Red Hat back like 20 some years ago. I remember going to CES I stayed at the MGM Grand, and we used to go to CES, and we would cover the show. Digital Photography Cafe. I was one of the co-hosts, and we would do live coverage, and we would do like interviews with all of the CEOs of the different companies and stuff. Anyways, yeah, that was one of my first experiences with Linux, and that was like way back in the day, 20 plus years ago, and I really enjoyed it, and that's when I kind of got the bug for it. And ever since then, I've always played with Linux, but I never made it my daily driver until just about a year and a half ago. I've always had Windows, always had Macs, and Windows just freaking pissed me off. And when I heard that Windows was going to do this end of life thing, you know, they're going to EOL it and no longer do any updates, no security patches, no nothing. I'm like, you know, screw you guys. I mean, they brought in recall where it takes a picture of your screen every 2 or 3 seconds, right? And then radios that up into the cloud. Like, are you kidding me? Can you imagine something being that intrusive to take a picture of your screen every 2 to 3 seconds and then do like it's just bad. It's just bad. Can you turn it off now? Yes, but originally when they came out with it, it was turned on automatically. Like, are you kidding me? That kind of invasive shit you're going to turn on. So I'm like, yeah, I'm done with it. Mark says 25 years ago, yes. Then Apple. Yeah, Apple is Linux. Well, it's not really Linux. I know people will start bitching because it's a derivative thereof, let's say. It's Unix base. Their latest operating system. Obviously not the operating systems before. But that's why they're powerful. They have a really good GUI over a strong back end in comparison to Windows, which they have a GUI over a piece of crap back end. If you think of Windows this way, think of Windows as 1,000 guys writing code, 1,000 guys writing code, and 10 guys or gals are taking the code and trying to weave it into an operating system. And what number 999 coded ends up breaking what number 8 coded. And they're constantly trying to figure shit out because one thing is breaking another thing and then they're repairing. It's just a hodgepodge mess of code. It's a big bloated piece of crap. That's what Windows is. Now, does it work? Yes, it works. The reason why people like Windows, it's not because the operating system is good. It's because it has become the de facto when it comes to software and driver provisioning. A company will create a driver immediately for Windows, secondary for Apple, and then lastly for Linux. Most of them will never even create a driver for Linux. That's the problem. If that were to change on its head and now drivers were created immediately for Linux first and then Apple and then Windows would die out pretty damn quick. Because I can tell you playing video games on Linux is actually a better experience today than it is on Windows. I played the exact same games on the same computer, once again, with Windows in, and then once I installed Linux, and the exact same game in Linux ran at faster frames, just better latencies, everything. The pings were better. Everything was simply better. Why? Because the overhead was reduced. Windows is a bloated piece of crap. There you go. If you like it or not, that's the truth. That is the truth. Take it for what you will. Let's see. Moving down. Once again, if you have a question, put at JCristina. At JCristina. Let me see. Let me put back on this so you can see our space station, so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to leave that up. Once again, guys, you guys can go to that space station any time of day, any time of night, any day that you want. Go and take a look. Hang it out. Just hang out. Throw it on your TV. Listen to the ambiance, right? I really tried hard to make it just unintrusive so that you can just kind of relax to it and just explicitly, just thoughtfully not put anything in there that is abrupt, let's say. Had some 30 megabyte drives, nothing to store it on. Yes, that's from Mark. Wendy Mo here. Geeky Gardens. I switched to Linux many decades ago. Wow. There you go. That's a wow. Wow. 0.95 kernel. There you go. That's a kernel. That is many moons ago. Apple's okay. Yeah, it works out. Apple's not bad. They're less intrusive. They spy on you a little bit less than Windows does. They still do, but a little bit less. Block 3 is coming, William says. Absolutely. Block 3 is coming. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Block 3. I'm ready for the next IFT launch. I cannot wait for it. Let's see. Fabverse Starship. Yes. That's third with a Red Hat deep in. Wow. Okay. Yes. I love Red Hat. I love Red Hat. Good stuff. Peter Gosling's in the house with 5 gift memberships. Thank you, Peter, for being here. Who do we got here? Alan, Tommy, SSDI, Neo, and Kelly all got free memberships. Please say thank you to Peter for that. Thank you so much, Peter. I'm glad you're here. We are now live with the space station, so definitely take a look at it whenever you get an opportunity. I love it. I spend a lot of time putting it together for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. I really do. I hope you enjoy it. Let's see. And anything that you have, any ideas, please let me know. Like I said, anything else that you would like to see, let me know. Just whatever it is, you have an idea for something, throw me the idea, because if I can code it, it might happen. It might happen. There's a lot of things that I want to do. I've already written down a lot of things already, but I want more. I want more, because the ones that are the best are going to take top priority, and those are the ones I'm going to start coding on, right away, working on those graphically as well as code. Dutch Linux is in the house. Thank you for being here. It is my Linux, man. What do we got here? It says Red Hat. Yes. Yes. Let's see. Is now part of the Oracle and is used to, yep, CentOS. I know. It is now Rocky. And yeah, you know, I don't know how I feel about that. Dutch Linux. I don't know how I feel about it. You know, I feel like everything these days has been going extremely corporate, right? So things that were very open source, all of a sudden they become closed source really quick. ChatGPT. Just a lot of stuff is like that. Even Linux distros have been doing stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I get where they're going with it, but I'm still not a fan of it. But I don't know. Let me get a drink real quick. Mark says KDE desktop was like Windows, but BSD. Yeah, remember BSD? I love BSD. BSDI, great OS back in the day. Peter, nice, thanks. No BSD. Geeky Garden says, started with Yoshi. Yes, CD on back in the book. I remember those. Ubuntu LTS, yes. You would get like a Linux book. I don't know if you guys have ever done it. You went to the library, or if you went to, sometimes in the library, they actually keep the CDs in there, which was kind of stupid, but they would do it anyways. And sometimes they wouldn't get stolen. If not, you would go to like the bookstore and you'd like get a Linux Bible, let's say, and the very last page is a version of Linux. It's always like 10 versions back. I'm exaggerating, but it was always old, and it was like 2 CDs or 1 CD. You would install it from that, and you're like, oh my God, I got an operating system. It came with the book. Just cool, definitely cool. Yes, Geeky Gardens, good shit. Absolutely love it. I like KDE Plasma, Wendy says. Yeah, KDE, I like KDE. You know, I'm a GNOME fan. You know, or Genome or GNOME or whatever you want to call it, but you know, I am a fan of it. It just depends. KDE is a little bit more graphical. It does a little bit. It's a little bit more. You know, there's more stuff written for it and stuff. I just feel like the GNOME is just a little bit more solid for me. Depends on what I'm doing or what kind of coding I'm doing. But anyways, it's all preference. It doesn't make a difference. Some OSs are actually going one way or the other and pushing you in that direction, and some of them don't even let you leave. Can go to the other very easily. So it is what it is. Let's see. Did you receive my email about multi-kernel? I did not. I have not went into my email for a couple of days. I'm sorry. I've been really like shoulder deep in this, what I've been working on here. So I'm behind, to be completely honest with you. I think this weekend I'm going to try to catch up with my emails that I've missed this week, because I've put so much time into this for you guys. So I'll take a look at that. Moving down. Arnold Smith says, I use MX Linux. That's good stuff. Good. On my workstation and Windows 11, debloated. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely debloat Windows 11. You could rip out recall. You can rip out a whole bunch of shit. And there's a lot of telemetry just that literally just sucks. For me, what I'll do is I'll throw in like a pie hole or something, or what I'll do is I'll do like a server side logging of what Windows is doing, and just catch it doing all kinds of fucking callbacks. It just pisses me off. That really pisses me off. Like stuff that it should not be phoning home about, it phones home. And, so I'll block a lot of it. So yes, debloating works really well. Having some type of server-side QoS on the back end, logging stuff to see what the hell it's doing and when it's doing it. People don't realize this. Apple does the same shit, guys. Like at a certain time at night, sometimes like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., it will like take like 10, 14, 15 meg files and just ship them back home to Apple. What the frick is in them? I don't know. I haven't spent the time to figure it all out, but it does stuff like that. Okay. So what is it capturing all day that it needs to, in the middle of the night, send that? I don't know. But maybe maybe I'll monitor it, do like a like a packet sniffer on the shit and see what the hell's going on. I just don't have time. And anyways, but yeah, you could do all kinds of stuff. But yes, debloating is definitely something that you can do to make Windows acceptable. I hate to even say that, but yeah. I have 2 terabyte drives and 32 gigs, 14 cores, 18 threads on a tower on a 5810. Don't use Windows much. Yeah, absolutely. I don't either. Let's see. Moving down. If you have any questions, put in at JCristina. Once again, at JCristina. Let's see. Here we go. Kevin says, I had a bench PC several years ago, so I could play with Mint 20. It was good, not bad. Mint 20 was when they kind of moved into a lot of new things that broke, but it was still good stuff. I liked the interface and kept it in the garage for internet access and working on my car. Test set. Yeah, so definitely test out 22. If you install Mint 22, it will install the latest, which is 22.2, I believe. So allow it to do those updates, because from 22 to 22.2, there were some things that it fixed. So definitely do that update. Mo says, I recommend you should see the Microsoft 2030 vision. Oh my God. You will see some of the technology that was featured in the, montage. You will remember what was hand grabs, air gestures, really. Hand grabs and air gestures and images, really. So yeah, I can imagine they've been doing a lot of crazy stuff, cool stuff. But the way I look at a lot of this stuff is like how intrusive do you want your OS to be? Do you want it to get out of your way so that you can do what you need to do, or do you want it to constantly babysit you and coddle you? I don't need to be coddled. That's just me. I don't need to be coddled. So I don't really want it. I don't need all the extras. Just not necessary. Let's see. Jeffrey says, I fell asleep listening to the space station last night and slept all night long. Yeah, it is very ambient. Okay. And like I said, I deliberately put all of that music that you hear. I created all of it. It is ambient. There is explicitly no percussion in it. If there is, it's very, very short, winded at a very small portion of time out of the long session. So I put very little into it to keep it as ambient as possible, and just lo-fi as possible. So yeah, that's great, Jeff. I'm glad you fell asleep to it. That's cool. Let's see. Oh, the Nard said they was getting with the cables getting FTTC. What do we got here? 80 down, 30 up, 6 milliseconds. Not bad. I love the 6 milliseconds. Can't beat a ping like that. Holy shit, that's fiber. That's some fibrous ping. Talking about fibrous ping, I got 14.2 milliseconds with Starlink. That's the fastest I've gotten so far. But that's pretty damn close. I did some calculations, recalculations. I said that they were going to be able to get to approximately 13 to 14 milliseconds. With the new satellite height, they're going to start moving these satellites down into the 300s, from the 550 down to like 350, 340, 320, so on there. With a base latency of about 3 by 3 or 6 milliseconds, we should see about 10 milliseconds, I think, fastest throughput speed. That's going to depend on your POP, or your point of presence, and your ground station. And no one is saturated, and all of those fiber channels that are going from your ground station to the POP, or the point of presence, the backbone, let's call it, are non-obstructed, right? Non-congested. You're going to be, I think Elon's going to not only be able to get sub 20 milliseconds, which I know for sure, I think we're going to see 10 to 12 is going to be their fastest speeds. That is sick, because there is fiber companies that are having a hard time maintaining 6 to 8 milliseconds. All right. Now there's some fiber companies that are that are getting 0 to 2 milliseconds when you're dealing with really close servers, but for the most part, they're getting like 4, 6, 8 milliseconds. So remember, you're getting satellite from you're getting your internet from a satellite, which is crazy that you can even do that, right? You guys see these hurricanes that are approaching here, South Florida? What the hell's going on? I don't want a hurricane, right? What's going to happen to the space station if we get hit with a hurricane? You have to get like some generator or something. Holy crap. I saw that today. Like, hey, Joe, you know, there's a hurricane, like there's 2? Like, what the frick? There's 2? Oh, yeah. Let's see. Mo says, I tweaked my iMac 08 to run Genome or GNOME or whatever you want to call it as a dual boot production. I love that. Yeah. It took 3 days to crash and burn. Yeah, no, I know. That's fun. You know, those are the projects you want to do. They're fun. Let me see. Moving down. Once again, at JCristina. Makes it easy to find. Easy to find at JCristina. Let's see. Mo says, what's in them is a package of what you're doing, rent and borrow, and the consumer technology. Starlink is a strong alternative, but I find some issues. Yes. So Starlink is, Starlink is not just an alternative. It's like the only means of getting high-speed internet for many people in rural areas. Like for myself, my speed prior to SpaceX Starlink was 7.5 megabits down and 0.7 megabits up. And then I bitched and moaned, and AT&T said, okay, we're going to give you a second line, and we're going to bond it. I'm like, oh, goody. So yeah. So I had DSL, and then finally they moved to UVerse, and I was getting 15 megabits down and 1.4, 1.5 megabits up. That's what I was getting for like 20 years, for freaking ever. And then all of a sudden Elon comes, and my 1.5 megabits up transforms into, at the time when we were beta, like 43 megabits up. 1.5 to 43. And my download speed went from 15 megabits to 340 megabits. 15 to 340. Do you think I was kind of happy with Elon Musk, SpaceX, Starlink? Yeah. It was a revolution. It was revolutionary for myself and my family, for my business as well as the family life, being able to do at-home learning, right? During the whole COVID bullshit. Right? We were able to have the kids be able to learn from home. Could we have done it with UVerse or DSL sitting at 0.7 or 1.4 up? Probably not. So yeah. Yes, while it is an alternative for people, it is a primary for a lot of other people. SpaceX Starlink is a lifesaver and a family, let's say a game changer for family as well as businesses out there. Trust me. Let's see. Nightlight, Memorable Places says, for those using ambient sound for sleep, I wonder how bad dreams will be when the ads are some dudes talking, about a bat. Yeah, that's true. And that is true. What I have noticed, though, with this space station, YouTube is only putting those 5-second ads in there where you can hit it'll go for 5 seconds, or if you don't hit anything, it goes for 15 or something and it's gone. I haven't seen them try throwing in a long 2-minute ad or something. So I don't know. If there's something I can do about that, I will. So just hang tight. Let me know how it goes. If it becomes intrusive, let me know. And I'll get with the folks over there at YouTube, the people that I talk to, and see if there's something that I can do, if there's a way that I can kind of turn stuff off or certain things or whatnot. Anyways, let me know. That's why this is considered beta, because I'm kind of feeling through it. And I'm adding stuff that you guys want, right? Anything that you want. That's what I'm doing. Let's see. Fragile says, when they brought fiber to your area, how far was it from the main line to your home? So fiber was in my community for about 20 years. And what they did is instead of running fiber for the last mile, as they call it, to the house, they ran it to a D-slam. And the D-slam basically took the fiber and threw it into a whole bunch of shitty-ass modems and sent it to the homes via copper, old, ancient freaking copper hanging on poles that squirrels have chewed on the cable for years. And that's what they sent to our house instead of just dropping the fiber. And even once fiber was coming, there was 3 companies that bid on our community. And one of the people, the one that we got was Hotwire. But there was 2 others. I think it was Blue whatever the hell. Maybe one of you guys know. And the other one was AT&T. Do you know AT&T didn't get the gig, even though they've been here since the 70s, literally like 50 years, but yet they wouldn't step up and give us what we wanted? Do you know what these friggin' people at AT&T wanted to do? Instead of taking the fiber and digging it in 12 inches or 18 inches under the ground, basically trenching it, they wanted to take the fiber lines and frickin' hang them on those 50-year-old wooden poles where their crap-ass DSL and U-verse is hanging. Can you believe that shit? Just think about that. Every time there would be a pine that goes down, every time that there's a hurricane, every time that there's any friggin' problem, we would be out. The fiber would be cut. That's what AT&T does because they're cheap. But they got tons of subsidies from the government because they were running fiber to the rural areas, which they really weren't. They're liars and cheats, just in case anyone doesn't know. And if you work at AT&T, you could probably attest to this. And trust me, I know this because I know the back end side of it. I've worked alongside of a lot of the AT&T workers. I mean, one of them was Bell Atlantic's server. I used to work in there all the time. I talked to a lot of server admins and whatnot that know the backstory and what goes on. These people that run the stuff, the engineers and their bullshit. So yeah, trust me, these people are shady as hell, and they've been taking, I would say, not just millions, probably billions of dollars over the decades from the government to run fiber to the rural areas and never did it. They just bullshit around, and they'll run like fiber to like a mobile home like location where there's like 300, 400, 500 of these mobile homes. The people in those mobile homes, one of the things they can't afford, number one, the fiber. Number two, they don't want the fiber. Number three, most of them don't even live there. Right? There's no one there. And they're only there for like 3 months out of the year because we're in Florida. It's very transient. People come here for the winter months. But that's what they would do. And they'd be like, oh, we just ran to 500 new people. No, you didn't. You didn't run shit. So this is what they would do. Anyways, not to get into a big long thing, you should throw me some kicks because I went on to a long tangent. But it's my disdain for AT&T and all of their crap that they have given us over the years. And that's why I've made 570 videos on SpaceX Starlink to hopefully help one of you guys out. And I don't get paid from these people. Some people say, oh, you're a shill for Elon Musk and SpaceX Starlink. No, he hasn't given me a goddamn penny. He doesn't even know who the hell I am. And it's okay. I still do it because I appreciate the service. There you go. And hopefully other people find it of value too, just like I do. That's it. So let me see. Moving on. Thank you so much for heating me up, Fragile. I appreciate that. Let's see. Moving on. If you have a question, put at JCristina, right? At JCristina. I'm going to stay on a little bit longer, then we're going to head out. I don't want to be on here too long, but this is more of an introduction to the space station. And I hope a lot of people get in there and hang out and let me know after a couple of days or a week, what do you think? What do you want added in there? Anything. Just any kind of comments. Let me know. AOL was better than HughesNet. Yes. Remember AOL? Holy shit. AOL, I think it was AOL. Was it AOL? I think it was AOL that finally cut the last landline, I think, recently. A dial-up line. Not that long ago. Which is crazy. I started with Starlink, really. I think that, I like Starlink, really. I think is a valid option for the future and present. Yeah, no, I do. I absolutely do. Fiber, 200 spread and 17 on the upside. Not bad. Not bad. That's nice, Mo. Not bad. Let's see. Starlink was the best thing for me. Me too. Well, that's for William Welsh. Moving down. I got my kicks there. Thank you. Appreciate those. Let's see. Once again, at JCristina, Mick says, hey, I know I'm really late tonight. That's okay. I'm out in Colorado doing a few 14 years. What is this? Doing a few 14 years. I got to test my new Starlink mini dish at the summit of Mount Sherman. Really? That's awesome. You tested the dish, top of the mountain. So, how was it? Let me know, Mick. Let me know. Doesn't matter you're late. Mick, jump in here. Let me see. I think Blue is a Canadian company. It could be, Mo. You might be right. Hey, Nikon, real Nikon lover, Jim. How you doing? Thank you for being here. Hey, Joe, there is a beta. Super sticker on Spig. Is it really? I'll have to go and take a look. Thank you for that, Jim. Thank you. I have it on here so that you can see the full screen. I don't have the partial screen, so I can't see the chat that's going on over there. So I'm focusing on this. But thank you for that, Jim. Let me see. Mohead, many chargeback in 6%. Okay. Let's see. Moving on. Here we go. Mick says, I also got the Test My T-Mobile Direct to cell service through SpaceX Starlink today on my iPhone 16 Pro Max, and it worked perfectly here in Colorado. That's fantastic. So that's great. So now you have your SpaceX Starlink, your DTC or direct to cell working, and you have your mini working. Let me know about that mini, Mick. I would love to know what your speeds were at the top of the mountain, at the summit, as you say. Top of, what was it? Sherman? Mount Sherman? Anyways, let me know. Had AT&T for 3 years. Early termination fee. Yes. Screw these people. That was from Mark. I love it. I absolutely love it. Moving on here. I love Starlink. It's only a viable option here. This is from Kevin Hoyt. Fiber installation stopped 1.5 miles. That doesn't always happen. It's like, oh, here's the fiber. It's at the end of your lawn, but we're not going to splice into it and give it to you. You're like, ah! Let me see, 1.5 miles from our house 2 years ago, and T-Mobile, AT&T in the area are too slow. Yeah. So the thing is with T-Mobile and AT&T, so you got T-Mobile Home Internet, you got AT&T Internet Air, and then you have Verizon Home Internet. They're all like the same. They use the same tower, so if you or similar. So if you have a tower that's near you, you might get really good speeds. If you have a tower that's further away, then you're going to get shitty speeds. If you have a tower that's still on LTE or 4G, then you're kind of screwed. If you have a tower that has 5G, you're going to get faster speeds, lower latency. So it's really hit or miss. So what I say is if you're going to do any kind of fixed internet like a T-Mobile home internet or a Verizon home internet or an AT&T Internet Air, as they call it, test out all three and see which of the satellite or which of the towers are closest to you or that are giving you the fastest speeds, and just use them. So if they have a means for you to borrow them or test them for 30 days free or whatever, it's worth doing because you'll find one is a ton better than the other. Trust me, I've already tried it. Multiple times. Let's see. Moving down. Got a bunch of kicks from Mo. I appreciate that. What's up, Dom's in the house? Thank you for being here. Let's see. Gallagher, what about a monthly space raffle? We could win something off of your merch up to a certain amount. I'd like that. A space raffle. All right. Hold on. We're going to write that down, all right? Let's call it the, we will write that down as the space station raffle. We got it. I like it. Thank you, Gal Girl. Any other, anything else that you guys have that, might just kind of enhance stuff? I'm thinking, like I said, to do some hourly cool shit where maybe it just every 60 minutes or so, something will happen. Maybe it's every hour on the hour. So instead of like a gong going off or, maybe it's something funny, maybe it's like, I don't know, another ad popped up. Holy God, YouTube is starting to get crazy. Anyways, we killed it. Maybe it's like, like just something cool, like someone said, like maybe a Tesla car flying by, or maybe Elon popping up, or, maybe it's, a Star Trek ship flying by, or maybe it's a raffle winner that pops up or whatever, or something. So yeah, I'm going to look into some cool stuff to really make it like a home. The whole idea is, I built this channel around community, and my thought was to keep the community going even when I'm not here. Because like all too often, like a JCLive will be over and I'll be looking at the chat and I'll be like, there's still like a lot of people still here and they're talking back and forth. Well, now when you guys are, when we're done here, you could just like move over to the space station and hang out in the lounge, chill out and keep the conversation going. Which is what I want. I really want everyone to be able to build a really nice tight community, I'm just like this face, right? And I give you a lot of hopefully good information, thousands now of videos and tips, tricks, how-tos, all the rest of the kind of shit. But if I'm not there, there's a lot of smarter people than me on this channel, right? I want them to come out of the woodwork and go into this community and participate and to, have conversations. So I built a Discord years ago and I just don't promote it. I don't do anything with it because I just don't feel it's as interactive as something like this. The Discord is very like BBS, like a bulletin board of years ago, like that I built, many, many years ago, back in the 80s. So this is more interactive because here you can kind of hang out and talk with people, but you're also looking at when the next launch is. What is the news briefings? What's going on with the solar weather? What is going on with weather in the different launch sites? What are the next launches coming? What is going on? And it's here, right? And other information that I might not have already found out or thought of, tell me, and I want to put it here. Kind of like that one-stop shop where you can just kind of just chill out and get all of this information while you're just chillaxing. So anyways, yes, that's long-winded, but thank you. Thank you for that, Gala Girl. I like it. Monthly raffle. Mo, Welsh and Son. We got Will and Welsh with the kicks over there. Dom, let's see. Real Nikon lover. Even the AT&T techs are embarrassed that they work for AT&T. Yes, I know. I got people that I know work for AT&T. It's embarrassing. It really is. It's not their fault. The engineers, the linemen, like the line crew and stuff, they're great guys. I mean, they work really hard at their jobs, and they are basically working with one hand tied behind their back. Many times they can facilitate things, but the engineers say, nah, and that's what they have to do. And then they have to sit there and be the face man of the company and be like, no. And then the customer is like, can't you just do it? Like, the cable's there. Can't you just put, no, we can't. And then they have to make up a story. Well, if the box comes down and the yaw rate of the algorithmic equation doesn't facilitate the line running to your home. So, and they start talking about flux capacitors and shit. And it's not their fault. Right? It really isn't. It's top down. The fish stinks from the head. That's AT&T. That's AT&T, right? That's a lot of these corporations. I'm just picking out AT&T because I had to suffer with their ass for 30 years. Okay? So there you go. There's a belated happy birthday to Mo. That's awesome. That's from Low Tech Greg. Moving down, Fragile. Fragile, thank you so much, Fragile, with that $5 super chat. I apologize. A company called W&M is putting down fiber. It's about 100 yards from my home. I don't know if it's going to be available or not. That sucks. So since it's so close to your home, I will pray for you that you get fiber. For me, yes, it's great to have fiber, but honestly, I'm very happy with SpaceX Starlink. I never had a problem with it. When I had it, we were doing lives. I didn't have a problem, right? There was no problems. So SpaceX Starlink was enough for my family and for my business. Now that we have fiber, of course, it's a cherry on the top. But is it necessary? No. But I still have SpaceX Starlink and I still have T-Mobile too. Other people will be like, you have fiber. Why would you need any others? Well, because fiber goes down all the damn time. People don't realize this. Those fiber channels, those things go down a lot, right? Not a little bit. It's not like, oh, I have fiber and now I have 100% uptime. No, you have like downtime. Okay. So when the fiber goes down at any given time, Starlink is going to take care of the difference. If Starlink goes down because we have some really shitty weather, and we know that weather Starlink doesn't like, rain fade is a thing, well, then T-Mobile, the tower up the street here, will be able to facilitate the connection. So I like the redundancy. Thank you so much, Fragile. Really appreciate you. Dutch Linux says the Linux community are thinking about to split with Linux kernel and make it multi-kernel that gets stacked where each kernel has its own core function. That's interesting. I think that could have, there could be some positive and negatives to that. Whenever you're dealing with the core, you end up dealing with problems with compatibility issues, especially if you're writing software that is very specific to core calls. The same thing holds true as like if you're developing a game that's more specific to like an NVIDIA chipset. And now all of a sudden you're trying to make it for Intel, but the calls are different and the way it operates is different. You're like, and then it runs really good on NVIDIA and it doesn't run as good on Intel. Same thing I think will happen with the kernel when you start splitting stuff up. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening if they do it or they don't do it, but it could fall into some issues where like one build works really good for this program and then all of a sudden the other one will just break it. Now what? Do you build for two? Do you build for each? How do you do it? I don't know. Maybe you could tell me. Let me know, Dutch Linux. What do you think about it? I would love to know your thoughts. Piney Woods 101 or 01 says, good night all. Thank you so much for being here, Piney Woods. Let's see. Peter Gosling, thank you so much for the 10 gifted memberships. If you just got a gifted membership from Peter, please say thank you. Thank you, Peter. Really appreciate that. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Appreciate all of your help, all of your support for the channel. Really, really helps a lot. Real Nikon Lover says, I got new fiber 2 weeks ago. Congratulations. Holy crap. It isn't much better than the Spectrum Copper. No clue why. That happens all the time. People tell me all the time, like, oh, I just got fiber. And it kind of sucks. Yeah. If you have cable and you have fast cable, the fast cable could actually be better than your copper. People don't know that. Coaxial, I tell people all the time, coaxial cable is really good shit. Coaxial cable could run at 100 megabits per second, and you could simply turn up the juice and run 500 megabits per second. Turn up the juice and run gigabit per second. And nothing has to change, right? In comparison to like AT&T, they use these thin friggin' lines, thin copper. You can't turn it up. You can't, right? Whereas those coaxial cables, they can go pretty damn fast. Trust me. And their latency is not as fast as obviously light, as fiber, but they're not bad either. You can get a really good copper line to your home at a good 10 to 15 milliseconds. Not a problem. So yeah, there is some copper that ends up being better than fiber in certain areas. It just depends on what kind of fiber company you have. Some are shites, guys. Some are shites. They're just trying to take the money from the government. Trust me on this one. Trust me. They love to get that subsidy from the government. Let me see. Once again, at JCristina. Peter says speed test would be good. Let's do that. Let's do a quick speed test, guys. Let's do a quick speed test, and then we'll probably get out of here in just a couple minutes. Let's do a speed test. Let me jump into Starlink. You know what? Let's do this. Okay. Let's do a speed test. Hold on. We're going to do a speed test with speedtest.net or speedtest.com, which is Ookla, right? So here we go. We're going to do this first. All right. Do we see that? Can we see it? Oh, you know what? Let me go full screen. So This way, we know that I'm actually doing it. Because like I said, sometimes I'll do these tests and then people will be like, oh, he didn't show me the screen and he must have edited it and it's actually going a lot slower. Just stop already. We're getting 100, 200, sometimes 300 megabits down. What do we get so far? We got 207 megabits down right now. And right now we're getting what? 30, there we go, 32, 29, 29.7. So let's call it 30 megabits up. That's pretty damn quick, all right? So that is from speed test, Let me see if I can do this. I don't know. Yes, we can. So let me make sure none of my data is on there. It's not. So this is Mr. Bevel, right? Mr. Bevel, that's my dish, right? You can see him. We're going to do a speed test on Mr. Bevel. Let's go to right down here, speed test. I did a video today on the new features on here. Go watch that video. This is some cool ass shit. They updated the app and they gave you some hidden logs that give you really good information as to why you're down in comparison to, oh, you're down. Well, why? Now it tells you. So, all right, let's go to speed test. Here we go. Let's let that roll. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Here we go. Let's see what we got. 200, 290, 300, 330, 340, 360, 367, down speed, 367. Up speed, 30s. We're still in the 30s. There you go. 20. Oh, shit. It dropped. But that's all right. Not bad. Okay, so we got 20 up, a massive, disgusting, fastest down speed that have ever seen. This is my fastest up speed, or down speed that I've seen. 367 down, 20 up, and 23 milliseconds ping. This is live, guys, all right? So don't say like, I'm faking it. Matter of fact, I'm going to take a picture of it. There you go. I took a picture of it. Maybe I'll share it on the channel in the community. But there you go. There's live. 367 down. That's sick. We're getting that speed from a satellite at 530 kilometers in space. Absolutely crazy. Kapow! Boom! Mo says boom from Peter. Let's see. Moving down. Peter says, let's see. Here, Mick. Mick says, I had 96 down and 37 up. That's with the Mini. That's pretty damn quick. So just in case you guys don't know, Mick said that he had 96 down and 37 up with the Starlink Mini. That was at the top of a mountain, right? In the middle of nowhere on the top of a freaking mountain. That's crazy. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Let's see. Moving on. I also used the Mini dish in the Smoky Mountains in the National Park at a campsite. Worked perfectly. Excellent. Excellent. Starlink in the DTC has worked flawlessly in Colorado and connected a few times. Awesome. Great, great, great information there. Thanks, Mick, for that. Thank you. And you're using, let me see here. I bought a power adapter that allows me to use my DeWalt 20-volt batteries on the Power Mini dish. That is cool. Matter of fact, maybe you could take a look at Shannon's site. Go to what is it? Baja Racing. Is it Baja Racing? Hey, Shannon, put it into the chat. Put your website in the chat. What is it? Baja Racing Gear, I think, right? Let me not screw it up. Hold on. Baja Racing Gear.com, I think. Yeah, that's it. Here you go. I'll stick it in the chat. He sells stuff like that. So definitely take a look at that. So I threw it into the chat so you can take a look. Anyways, very cool shit. Using a DeWalt 20 volt to run this. That's great. That is cool. That is definitely cool. Moving on here. So I'm gonna go in about 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. I'm gonna head out. If you have any last minute questions, put at JCristina. The main thing here is I wanted to get out this to you guys. I wanted to get this out to you guys. I was just stoked to be able to show this to you, and now it's up there. Real Nikon Lovers Game, 950 by 945. That's freaking crazy. That's fiber right there. That's gigabit fiber. Gotta love it, Jim. Loving that gigabit fiber. Loving it, loving it, loving. Fragile 77 by 16 by 31 ping. Not bad. It could be better, but not bad. Just ran a test. William just got 247 down by 28 up with a 27 millisecond ping. I'm telling you, SpaceX Starlink is getting faster and faster and faster. And that is still with the Generation 2. These aren't even the Generation 3 satellites that are up there. These are the V2s, or let's call them the V2 minis. Once they hit the 3.0s, everything's going to change. It's just going to get faster and faster. The latency is going to get better. You're not going to have any slowdowns or anything. Very, very, very good stuff. Very good stuff. Let's see. Yes, autocorrect always works great. Chad, thank you for being here. Chad says 402. Holy shit, by 51 by 26. Man, that was my speed. Chad, was that Starlink, or was that like a cable, or what kind of service? I haven't seen a Starlink that fast, but I know that I've seen some that quick in the ocean. Mark says racing with no car. Yes. Oh, with Starlink. Holy shit. That's awesome, Chad. That is awesome. So, guys, let me end with this. I just want to thank everyone for being here, number one. Number two, I hope that you get some value out of this space station, the JCLive space station. I hope you get value out of it. I really enjoy making it, and I'm going to continue to build upon it with suggestions that you give me. All right. Remember, this is beta. It might go down here and there. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening, whatever. But I'm going to try to keep it up all the friggin' time. Let me know if YouTube pushes too many ads to it, and I will reach out to my rep to see if there's a way to mitigate that. I know that, they love making money. So, we have to play by their rules. Maybe there's something that I can do. I'm almost positive I have it on the absolute lowest that it can possibly be. But anyways, let me know about that. If there's anything that's odd or intrusive that just doesn't look right, let me know. If there's anything that you want, let me know. And by the next week, and you guys are able to play with this and watch it over time, I can't wait to hear back from you on next Friday. And then also, of course, in the live chat. I'm going to go in and out of there during the day, here and there. So you might see me in the chat. I'll kind of be a lurker. And if something pops up and I'm around, I will respond to you guys. Okay. I find it fun. I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. So anyways, bottom line here is thank you for everything that you guys do. Thank you for, kind of coming along with me on this journey, building this thing. And, and I appreciate your support for everything you guys do. All of those super chats that you've done tonight, and all the gifted members, all the rest of this stuff, I appreciate it. It really does help out a lot. And all of your ideas. I like the space raffle. We might raffle off maybe a shirt or something. Maybe there should be a space station shirt that is made. What should the shirt look like? There you go. There's a couple of you guys left. I'll leave the chat going for another 10 minutes. Give me some ideas for a JCLive space station shirt. I want to see what you guys think. What would look cool? Anyways, many blessings to everyone. Thank you for being here. Have a great weekend, and we will see you in the next one. Many blessings. Take care, guys.